Hey everybody, what's going on?
Hey y'all, hey!
That's your signature right there.
Indeed it is.
And it's so good to see you guys back again for a third episode.
Episode 3, y'all. Coming in strong.
Not coming in strong.
Yes.
So we appreciate everybody who has been following us this far, subscribing, liking. Thank you so very much.
Yes. And before we go any further, what we need all of y'all to do is to stop what you're doing, hit the share button, and share this to your page so that others can tune in. So we'll give you 2 seconds to do it.
1, 2.
Did you do it?
Nope.
All right, we'll give you 2 more seconds.
1,
okay. 2. All right. I'm trusting that y'all did. Help us sisters out. But no, it's good to be back. We're grateful for all of those that did tune in last week. Even more thankful for those that tuned in. Even like and watched the previous episode. Like I said, the other 2 episodes or the other episode. So we thank you all for your support. We thank you for the comments. We thank you for the shares. What else? Oh, also, we see that nobody is really liking our YouTube yet, our YouTube channel. It actually, to be honest, I just found out through Daviana that you can now type in Talk That Talk 2025 and we come up.
Look at that. Look at
getting fancy now. So now you can go on YouTube and type in Talk That Talk Podcast and then 2025 and then you will see
24 25.
That's our email.
Okay.
But 2025, because I didn't know that I don't know if I could say this because I don't know like all of the logistics, but there is a celebrity that has a song out that's called Talk That Talk. So every time you type in Talk That Talk, that celebrity comes up.
Oh.
So, but you know what? We about to blow her out of the water with our podcast.
Oh no.
I love you, girl. But sorry. We gotta do what we gotta do.
Who is the celebrity? Shout that celebrity out. Okay, so
I don't want to be copywritten or whatever. You know, I don't know what the guidelines.
I mean, if you shout them out, then you ain't.
But you know, sometimes if you do things like you got to pay for certain things, like to say certain things, because you get clout. And I know that it's just a lot of technicalities. Like there's also times like if you say certain things within the first several seconds or minutes of your podcast, it picks it up and it populates it somehow in the system and it generates it. And so it's a lot of technical difficulty. So we'll just try to keep it as straight and narrow until we understand the game.
Yeah, because you didn't even want to have a theme song.
No, because I didn't want to be copywritten or like, you know, they pick it up and they be like, oh, well, you don't have the rights for this. So then they mute all of this stuff.
Oh, but you know what? Someone told me that my bishop has a lot of intros. So I was told to get with him. So hopefully my bishop can get us a nice little intro. And yeah, we won't be getting copyright or none of that. But today's subject is what about your friends? And you know what? At first I was not big into this one, but I had to think about that TLC song. So I love this subject. Tell me why you picked this subject.
So why did I pick it? Because what I am seeing in today's society is that a lot of us don't have friends, like true friends. And as I have been doing my research, it's a lot of us that feel that way, that we may have 1 or 2 or a handful of friends, and then each friend maybe, or each set of friends is for something specific, but having that one true dear friend closest to your heart, a lot of us don't have them, or we only maybe have one. And so, I don't know, we were having a conversation. I don't know if it was on the podcast or if it was outside the podcast, but we were talking about community and fitting in and doing this thing called life together. And, I really feel like right now, we talked about last week, what the world needs now is love, sweet love.
Sweet love.
But on top of love, I really feel like we need friendship. And I feel like as an adult, having a friend, getting ready to go in my 40s, it has been really, really difficult for me. And even though I feel like I'm the nicest person, and I feel
Oh,
like
Boogie.
I, I feel like I have the biggest personality, like really trying to find genuine friends that, you know what I'm saying, that you could rock and roll with, and that, you know, that you could ride or die, is so hard to find. And so it's taken me years to get the few friends that I have now as an adult. Now, growing up, it was easy.
Yeah, of course.
But now as an adult, man, this struggle is real out here. So I really felt like that is a great topic that we could talk about, navigating friendship. And then as I was doing my study last week, when we were talking about the goat, the true goat, which is Jesus Christ, a topic had came up about these men that had taken their friend to go see Jesus. And had it not been for this man's friends taking him to Jesus, he probably would have never been healed. And so at that point, that made me also realize how important and how crucial and critical friendship really is. And the more I did research on it, I'll say this real quick and I'll let you take over. But one of the things that I had learned in one of the Harvard studies says that the quality of relationships, friendships, can determine how happy and healthy you are. And so if Harvard says it,
If Harvard says it. So I just touch
So-
base on what a friend is. You know, someone you bond with, you have the same mutual connection. Now, friendship is a little different. It's a mutual trust and support between one or more people. So I remember going from, like you said, being younger, having many friends. And then as you got older, you have less friends. Like it changes, but you have to be mindful of the people that you have around you or the people that you call friend, because the enemy also will send you friends. You know that, right?
indeed,
Because the enemy does what? Tell me, you know what the enemy does.
still kill and destroy.
Yes.
Oh, okay. We on the same page. I was like, I don't know. He's the author of confusion. He is the angel of the, what is it? This angel of light, deceiver of light, or something like that. Like, he's a lot of things.
So that's why there's people that don't want to see you happy. They don't want to, see you succeed in life. You got backstabbers and you got frenemies. Those friends that turn into enemies. So you have to be careful with that. Very, very, very careful. That's all I got so far. You can go ahead and chime in if you would like.
And I think that's interesting because I literally have the exact same thing you have. Under friendships, I have flexible. Friendships have to be flexible as adults, because there are times you may not hear from me for a week, 2 weeks, a month, 3 months, 6 months, a year. But it doesn't mean that I'm not necessary, like there's anything wrong between us. It's just that between the fact of us having children, us
And
having
being adults.
careers, having responsibilities, we can't just necessarily all the time just, you know what I'm saying, connect. We have a sister friend that's with us, Miss Sierra, and we talk to her sporadically throughout the year, literally.
Yes.
But when we connect, oh, it's like it's not a missing beat.
Yeah.
But I have that too. So that's why I say about flexibility, mutual, supportive. There has to be a connection. And the one thing that I am learning, and it's been a struggle for me, is that friendships, like with people, you don't have to have history. And that's what has been hard for me, because it's just like, oh my gosh, like growing up, I had so many friends. Like even now, like some of the people that I grew up with, like if I go out there and I say this is a 911 situation, Christy's down, man down, SOS, I need help, like they're gonna all run to my rescue. But as far as like, hey, let's go hang out, let's go get something to eat, or let's go, let's go skating, or let's do this, or let's go do that. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody has their own groups. but it's like we're connected but still connected at like a distance.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I have to learn is that, like, for instance, me and you, we don't have no history,
No, we don't.
and we're like literally almost like sisters, you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? And so that's something that I had to learn, is that me and you could literally be sisters and be closer than somebody that I may have history with. um and so that goes into it was something else I wanted to say. um
Well, I have a story
Go
that
ahead.
I want to share, but it's kind of long.
Go ahead. That's,
Okay.
girl, we got time. We got 45 minutes to an hour. Okay, go ahead. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so I don't know if so this kind of relates to something that happened to me yesterday. I was having a moment, and we don't call each other. We send
Voice text.
voice text, and that's us conversating. And we don't text because we have a lot to say. Like sometimes our voice texts be like 11 minutes long.
Don't judge. No judgment zone, please and thank you.
But for her and I, one of our connections is we both have grown adults. And I was having a moment yesterday with my grown adult. But that was that friend that I needed to have that conversation with, even though it was through voice text. She understood exactly where I was coming from. But take you back to like August of 2022 per se. Um, I have one of those sons that is into cars, guns, whatever. So we're on our way to St. Louis to drop his cousin off. And for whatever reason, we riding around with a BB gun. A BB gun. So I got cut off on the highway. This pickup truck cut me off. And in a split of time before I knew it, we were surrounded by police. We were surrounded by police, and they were drawing their guns and yelling at us to get out the car. And we all know in our community, in our culture, what happens when, police pull you over. Sometimes it doesn't, end well. So I was so scared, so frightened for my life. I was confused more than anything. My plates were registered. There was nothing on my plates. There was no warrants, no tickets, no anything. So for them to pull us over, yelling and screaming and drawing their guns, I was like, what is happening? And not to mention, I had my 3 little kids with me as well. So as they telling us to get out the car, telling me to drop my phone. But before they even told us to get out, I tried to call my mom. My mom didn't answer. I tried to call my kids' dad. He didn't answer. So it's like at this point, you're like, God, where is,
My friends.
where's the people that's supposed to pick up the phone? But it clicked in my head, like, I'm the person you call on. And I had to call him because there's guns drawn at us. And I was like, oh my God, are they going to gun us down in front of my little kids? Like, what kind of trauma will they equip from this? And I know it's something that they still deal with because for a long time I had anxiety.
Yeah.
Like every time I saw a cop, I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
So I'm glad that I'm kind of over that. But I start praying and I start praying. Even though they still put us in handcuffs, they pulled over to an empty parking lot and they let us go. But the incident happened so fast, so quickly, so bad. But in the nick of the time, I knew to pray to God because nobody else answered. So if you can't find your friend, you got to call on God. You have to, because that could have been so bad.
So bad, so fast. Yeah.
Senseless. Like literally senseless. So if you don't have that one person to call on, you can always call on God, no matter what.
And that is really good. That is something that I didn't get the opportunity to catch all of those scriptures. But I know the Bible specifically talks. Oh, there's a song we always sing. What a friend we have in Jesus.
Yeah.
All our sins and griefs to bear.
Yeah.
What a privilege to carry everything to God in prayer. Like, we legit have a friend in Jesus. And in that moment, he was your friend.
Yeah, that I could call on.
That you literally
that
had
I needed in that time.
Immediately.
Like that. I was like, what is happening?
Yes.
It was just, that is crazy.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that story. And I was like, what happened?
It was crazy. Mm-mm. It was crazy. And then once they got me in handcuffs, I couldn't call nobody. Mm-mm. He was yelling at me to hang up my phone.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They don't play that. They don't care.
But y'all just like, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. But I thank God. I thank God that I still have breath in my body. Me and my son are still alive to see another August. You know what I'm saying? My kids didn't witness a horrific scene.
That'd have been awful. What a friend we have in Jesus.
Yes. Thank you, God.
Yes. But that also goes into like something that I think is also important, like so let's talk about like, how do you pick a friend? Like, what are some important characteristics?
But see, you don't know, because you and I both said that we have to give people the benefit of the doubt. Like, I can't look at somebody and say, oh, I don't know if I'm like, because you never know what a person really is. You can't judge a book by cover, because they could really be really nice and they might act a fool, or they can act a fool and be, you know.
But what are some like characteristics that let you know, like, after you get to know somebody, like that let you know that they're a good friend?
I like somebody that's transparent, like straight, like real, like as real as you can be. Because I'm not a judgmental person. I don't care. Whatever you've been through, don't think that I ain't been through it. Know somebody that been through it. You know what I'm saying? So I'd rather you be open and honest with me and just keep it 100. Like, say what it is. Like, don't be hiding stuff. Because how we going to have some type of connection if you hiding what you done been through or went through? Be like, girl, let me tell you what happened. And just tell me.
I agree. I think that's very, very, and I think what makes
our communication.
Yes, I was just gonna say, I think what makes our friendship so great is our communication. Like, even the fact of like doing this podcast, like we have our differences. Like, she feels certain ways about certain things, I feel certain ways about certain things, but we're able to have an adult conversation about what we like and what we don't like, and then we come up with a solution to the problem. We ain't falling out and acting all crazy and
oh my God, we not doing, I have friends like that.
we not doing all, and you know what, as I was doing my research, something else is a question that you ask is, do you like who you are when you're with this person?
You know what, that's very good, and I want you to ask me it again. But I was thinking, like, even when people say they're in toxic relationships, you can be in a toxic friendship too.
Yes.
Like, that's a really true thing. And I didn't even pay attention to that until I thought about all the toxic friends I've had in my lifetime.
Hunty. And I think, again, that's something else. Like, do you like who you are when you're with this person? Do you like how you feel when you're with this person?
The energy, the vibe.
Yes.
Is it there?
And something else is depression. If you're a person that has a tendency to struggle with depression, like, one of the main factors of depression is being isolated or feeling like you don't have somebody to talk to. And what about your friends? Are they standing round? Will they let you down? Types of And so that's extremely important. And like, again, if you have toxic friends, that means that more than likely these friends are going to amp you up. So I'm gonna tell y'all a little situation. So we friends, right? We sister friends. So there was this little scenario that happened a few weeks ago. And so I was a little delusional, the Lulu type situation. And in this situation, to be 100% honest, I knew I was delusional. But I'm also not a fool too. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to be 40 years old. I'm
But
not a fool.
that's the first step in recovery, to know, to shout it out.
But what I liked about our relationship was I came to you in my delusion. And because honestly, it was somewhat of an innocent delusion. I did not jump off the deep end because again, I'm not a fool. I was very coherent in what I was doing. But what I liked about our relationship was she didn't make me feel stupid about it. Girl, you know that, and you did it. She didn't judge me. She was like, well, girl, if it make you happy, then, because she knew I'm also not a fool. But being able to have those type of friendships that they're not judgmental. But the other flip side of it was, okay, before you get into deep into whatever delusion you're in, how about we pray about it?
Amen.
And so with that,
Amen.
again, what about your friends? What type of friends do you have? Are they willing to pray for you?
And with you.
Yes.
'Cause
And
that is
something else
important.
that was extremely important is, in a friendship, can I trust you? Can I trust your heart? So I was telling her information that actually had a lot to do with like that stemmed from childhood. And it really it's a delusion, but it wasn't serious, but it was like a long running history with this delusion that I had. And my thought was, can I trust her with my heart? I mean, can I trust her heart with this information? Can I trust her character? Is she going to steer me wrong? Is she going to, you know what I'm saying, judge me? Is she going to run my business in the ground type situation? And so these are some things that you also need to pay attention to when you're looking at friendships. Like, can you trust their heart? Can you trust their integrity? Can they teach you something? Can they, lift you up and build you up? And there are times, like she said yesterday, she was having a crisis. And so when she when she voice messaged me, I knew I could relate times a zillion what she was facing. And instead of me saying, well, girl, you need to this, no, it's like, girl, I know how you feel. Because where she is and what she was feeling in that moment, it was a real feeling. Now, we serve an amazing God, and God is in control of all things. And so it's not about dismissing how she felt, but it's also supporting her and keeping a connection with her, letting her know, hey, how you feel is how you feel. It's very justifiable. But with God, all things, we can make it through, the impossible. So I think that's also important is, yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we may, I don't think we've ever really been toxic. Girl! Here go the waterworks, y'all.
Wait, and then I didn't even grab the Kleenex out the car. No, because Ciara just said something too, and it was good.
That threw me off. Okay, so what's going on? Talk to me. No.
let me cry for a minute.
Okay. Dang, that really just threw me off because I was like, hold on, wait a minute. What are we talking about though? Okay, so let's talk about this. So, one thing is, we're talking about being toxic. I don't think me and you have ever really truly been toxic. I don't think me and you have ever really been toxic together. And I think that's good for the both of us because I know based off of stories that me and you both have talked about, we have been through some extremely toxic stuff. And so we're in the season of our life where we're in that, everybody talking about this soft girl era. And so we're like women, like we go through our ups and downs, but again, we don't do all that arguing and fussing and fighting and all of that extra stuff. But also something else to be mindful in your relationships, friendships. Does it drain you? And it's crazy because there be times, and I'm just gonna be transparent because I know she'd be feeling the same way. Sometimes we be like, why are we doing this podcast? I know it's only episode 3. I know, I know. I know.
You said what?
We be drained. Like,
Oh,
oh, can we like reschedule? Like, oh
yes.
my God, like I don't want to do this today. This is not a good day. But once we come together,
And do
it's
it.
like fire between us. You know what I'm saying? And so that's a part again of that vibe. Like we just have a vibe, that genuine friendship. Like when she's feeling down, I'm feeling down. When we come together, we lift each other up. Or if I'm feeling down, she builds me up and vice versa. That is a part of a true friendship. Is do you feel drained from that person? I've had some friends, honey, when I tell you the magnitude and level of stress, I've
been
had friends
there.
that I would leave out of their presence and my eye would be just twitching. Like legit. I had one situation that happened. My eye twitched for like 4 weeks. And I said, yeah, I don't think this is for me.
Yeah.
This ain't gonna work.
But you know what? When I get in those situations and I'm confused about a person, I pray about it.
Indeed, she does.
Because if it's not for me, God, remove them.
Be
Please.
gone.
If they're not benefiting me, if they're going to drain my energy, if they're not going to motivate me and push me, why are they here?
Exactly.
Why are they here?
Mm-hmm. And you don't want to force it.
And sometimes it's hurtful because I've seen friends that I enjoyed being around,
Yes.
but they wasn't for me.
Yep.
And they just poof,
Mm-hmm.
gone with the wind.
Now I had something else. I learned this from Mel Robbins. I love Mel Robbins. She's a Caucasian lady. I love her. I be listening to her all the time because she is so much like me and she thinks like me. She mentally processes like me. It just like it blows my mind. But she had talked about on one of her podcasts about the three classifications of friends. She said there's because she was talking about friendship being flexible. So you have three classifications of friendships. You have friendships for reason, friendships for a season, and friendships for a lifetime. So friendships for a reason could be like, you know, you're like your work friends because you're around them all the time, church friends, school friends, like if you're younger, like if you're in any sports, your neighbors, like those are reasons why sometimes friendships are formulated because of you're in that area. Yeah, connections. Friendships for a season would be like if you're a new mother, then you have all these new mothers that are around you, or you know, a lot of times, like I know when I was growing up, like all the older church mothers, you know, as a new mother, they were just, you know, all, you know, congregated around me and stuff like that. They wanted to be so helpful. Excuse me, but that was like just for a season. And then after that season was over, everybody just kind of dissipated. But it was okay though, because in my mind I understood, or I started to understand about the circle of life. And like there's a timing for a lot of things. The Bible talks about a time to sow, a time to give, a time to cry, a time to die, a time to this. And so it's the circle of life. So things happen within a season. And then you have those very far few in between people that, of course, you have lifetime friendships where they literally are with you for, you know, the rest of your life. But if you go into your mind and you basically let yourself know, hey, this person is in my life for one of three reasons, or one of three classifications. If a friendship dissolves, it's not going to be as devastating because you understand that everybody is not going to be your friend for a lifetime. Yeah. And if they're not your friend for a lifetime, it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you, and there's nothing wrong with that person, because I know sometimes also this is something that happens with friendships is, oh, because me and you haven't talked in a year, 2 or 3 years.
Right, we didn't fell out.
We didn't fell out. No, we ain't fall out. Ain't nothing happened. What's wrong with you? Life just happened.
And sometimes you outgrow people.
Yes. And it's okay.
It's okay.
You know, this person is on a path going this way, and this person is on a path going that way. And the other thing is sometimes when you do part, like let's just say this person, they moved out to Arizona. Who's to say that maybe one day I may not move out to Arizona, or that person that's in Arizona comes back in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, comes back to Indiana and we reunite again. It can happen like that too. But we just want to hold on to somebody and we basically choke them out because we just don't want to let them go. But sometimes it's okay to let them go.
Yeah.
It's okay. And guess what? I will see you right around the way type situation.
Yeah.
And I know I'm not going to even lie. That right there, it took me into my late 30s to grasp that, because I had this one friend. He was literally like my brother, and I'm not about to cry. No, I'm not. I ain't about to do it.
I know you ain't.
I'm not about to do it. I started to. I'm not about to do it. But I had this no, but I had this friend. He was like my brother, and he worked with me at CarMax. And when I tell you, I literally was going through one of the absolute darkest times of my life. Like, I didn't know if I was coming or going. The amount of mental abuse, physical abuse, spiritual abuse, emotional abuse, like all types of abuses I was going through in that season. But he was right there every day. And so once I stopped working at CarMax, we never hung out again. And I really felt some type of way. Like, I see you on my Instagram, I see you on my Facebook, but we not hanging. Why not? Like, oh, I feel some type of way. Like, what happened? And for the longest, I could not accept it. Like, even like with all of the other friends that I had from CarMax, like, we're friends on social media. But I mean, it really hurt my feelings. I'm like, I thought we was family. I thought we was family. But through this, even now learning, I understood that it's okay. Like, we still, like, I guarantee you, if it's a 911 situation and I called anyone up that was there and we were close, like, I truly believe, like, they would show up, in whatever capacity that they're able to. But that was something that I had to work on with inside of myself. I had to understand the classifications. The friendship was a reason, and it was a season. It was that season. It was that 4 years of my life. Yeah. He helped literally bring me out of my depression. And again, having good quality, not a bunch of friends, but good quality friendships can help with depression. Like, every time I would go to work and I'd just be feeling some time, he'd be like, girl, come on, let's go to lunch. Girl, you better. Like, that's how he kind of dealt with a lot of my situations. And he literally made my situation that felt like this, he made them seem so small. And I appreciated him for all of that. And he literally brought me out. Like, it was crazy. It's crazy. Like I say, we're still friends on social media, but we don't really talk or anything like that. But I'm okay with that, because he definitely was in my life for a purpose. And even as I'm watching him excel in the things that he's excelling in, he still is an inspiration to me. Like, he helps me want to be a better friend to others. He is a resemblance of, honestly, he was like as Christ in my life, leading me, guiding me onto the right path and putting me in a correct path and going and showing me the right way to be a friend. And that is something I will cherish forever. I'll never forget. So yeah. So again, there's the three classifications of friendships.
And that is interesting that you mentioned that, because I have also encountered people in my past life that have shown me how to be a good friend, because I mean, hey, just hanging out wasn't good enough. I mean, and I'm really bad with calling people, and I'm getting better, but I'm still not the best at it. So I've had those friends that call and we just have conversations, and it's still something that I'm learning, but it's teaching me what I need to do. Even if I don't call you, I can send you a text message, a voice message, or something. Mm-hmm. So yes, I have had those kind of people in my life that taught me how to be a friend, how to be like, hey girl, let's go hang out, let's go do this, let's go do that. Because to be honest, I didn't have a whole lot of that. So the few that I did have, I was like, okay, this is a cool feeling. I like how they lifted me up, not knowing that I was having a sucky day and they just called randomly and like, let's go do something. Let's go get our nails done. Let's do that. I pay for your nails. I pay for your feet. So having friends like that, you cherish those type of friends. You don't treat them like, what's the word I want to say?
Like they're disposable.
Because I can't. Yeah, like they disposable.
Like you cherish them. You treat them as though they're like special, like they're a prized possession.
Yeah, because once you lose them,
yeah, sometimes they don't come back.
yeah.
Now and you know what? That was something else that in my studying and researching about friendship, like one of the questions that was proposed is why is it so hard to have friends as an adult? And it's because we are not accustomed to having to put forth effort. And like you said, I gotta call them sometimes. I gotta text them sometimes. I gotta, yes. And it was really interesting is I had to when we do these podcasts, a lot of times I try to take it upon myself to do a self-reflection and to see what I can do better and how this also pertains to my life. And I was thinking about our relationship and I was like, why did it really take so long for us to connect? And I started thinking as I was listening, it talks about putting forth effort into your friendships and community. But you have to put forth effort. So like, if I wanted to hang out somewhere, I should have reached out to you and been like, hey girl, this is what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Now, maybe she could, maybe she couldn't be a part of it, but I still needed to to put forth the effort. And eventually we would have been able, but instead what I did was I just waited for you. And what I love about it is every time she did ask, I was available. And so we did end up connecting, but it's because she put forth the effort. And then I even think about going out to eat. You did that. You put forth the effort. I didn't do that. And then on top of that, then she asked me, she says, hey, I'm taking you out to eat. Where do you want to go? So at that point, and I don't think she really understood that. I mean, she's a Libra, so sometimes it can be indecisive. Me as a Leo, I'm like, how could you not know what you don't, like, how could you not? So, but she asked me, where I wanted to go eat. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, and we didn't really fully know each other like that. But for you to do that, that also pulled me in and engaged me even more. So then when we got out to eat, it's like, okay, this is for sure it. We got to definitely, you know what I'm saying, stay on top of it. But she had to get out of her comfort zone
Definitely
to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so in this process, I learned that I have to, as an adult, make myself uncomfortable and put forth effort. Now, how long have we been talking? Do we know?
A little over 30 minutes, I think. Or did we started late?
I know, but how late?
I know last week we didn't mention a life skill lesson for last week.
That's what I was going to talk about because you just mentioned something that came to me.
Okay, go ahead.
Are we going to that now?
Yeah, we can. Because I just pretty much touched bases on that. We talked about Jesus and being the GOAT, the sacrifice, the humility, and the love. So go ahead. What you got?
Okay. So you said something, and this is how I know this is God. Because a lot of our notes are very similar. This is stuff that I had been researching totally different from her. We just had a topic and we were like, ready, set, go. And so what you said just a few minutes ago, you said, like sending a message, just sending a message to a friend. And so again, this is going back to Mel Robbins, her podcast, because I listened to her and she said something extremely profound. Again, we're going back to putting forth effort. So what I thought would be really nice and very challenging for us all is the task for the week should be every day, every morning, make it um make it a task,
You gonna say every morning?
every morning. You make it a point to send one text message to a friend unexpectedly. Somebody you maybe that you haven't talked to in a long time. Somebody that maybe that's on your social media pages that they may inbox you from time to time. But you make a conscious effort to send one encouraging message and let them know, hey, you were on my mind, you were on my thoughts. I hope you have an amazing, blessed week. It's hump day because it'll be Wednesday tomorrow. So hump day, whatever you want to say. But put forth that effort and letting somebody out there know that they are being thought of.
Amen.
And
That's good.
then if you really feeling jazzy and generous and feeling like Jesus is truly the GOAT, send a video message.
A video
Uh
message?
huh. Just like like a Snapchat. Hey, how you doing? I was thinking about you. I was reading this book, or I was whatever. Hope you have a
Girl,
blessed day.
what if
Yes,
I want to see your face in the morning when they
because
wake up?
you gonna send it because you would be surprised how, because we really don't know. And I'm going to tell a story in a second. We really don't know the mentality or the mental state of people. This right here is connecting people. I just had a family member that uh is in a medical crisis. And my heart is broken because of it, because at the end of the day, at towards the end of last year, it really was upon my heart to continue to reach out to this specific family member, but I didn't. And so now that this family member is in the situation that she's in, my heart is broken because now I can't do what I should have done last year. And so in as I think about it, I'm like, me uplifting, encouraging, and continuing to pull her closer to Christ and closer to in connection, could it have prevented what she's going through now? And so a lot of times, again, I'm telling y'all, if y'all study on friendships, what I'm telling, that's something else. It's not a whole lot of information about friendships.
It's not.
I wish we could have really got into like more biblical principles about the different friendships in the Bible. But maybe we'll do another episode. But again, like your health, a lot of times studies show that your health is also determined by the company you keep.
Amen.
And so it is imperative that we connect with quality people and we keep encouraging and loving. And I think honestly, this is where our podcast is really turning into more, is like how to spread love to each other.
Yep. And you
And
know what? Not to cut you off,
wow.
but I put on here for this week to be kind to someone, share some love, be generous, and say something nice and make a new friend.
Put it in a text message.
That's crazy. Yeah, spread the love.
So I mean, that's what y'all need to do every day, whether it be doing something kind for somebody, or again sending a text message, just letting somebody know that they're on your heart. I know something, as she was talking about Sunshine Hope, something that I dealt with is I'm not quick to reach out. Um I don't know why I'm like that though. I'm gonna have to do some research on that. I don't know why I'm like that. I really just will not reach out. But one of the things that I had to do this year was in righting my wrongs. My grandmother moved to Georgia, and I really was not very happy about that. But I understood, she had to do what she had to do, what was best for her. um and in the process of all of that, like me trying to process her, then dealing with health issues with my mom, then dealing with my daughter having two children back to back, and dealing with my own issues that I was having with my brain and my blood pressure, and just all kind of different things that was going on, I ended up offending my grandmother. And so what I found out, because unfortunately my aunt Dorothy, which I talked about last week, she passed away. And so as I was talking to my grandmother, and I saw my grandmother because she came back for my aunt Dorothy's funeral, my grandmother was trying to rip me to shreds. But you know what she said? She said God told her, don't do it. And I was grateful to God for that, because God was letting me know also that there was grace, because God also understood how much pressure I was under. But what it also made me realize is that yet and still my grandmother matters. And so what I have to do, in spite of what I'm going through, in spite of what I'm facing, as to build friendships, relationships, I have to sacrifice sometimes.
Yeah.
So I tried my best to make it more of a point every week. And I missed a few weeks, but as every time that I think about my grandmother, I need to send her a message, let her know I'm thinking about her, because she's all the way in Georgia, basically by herself. Like the only person that's down there is like her oldest daughter, but the rest of her family is up here, up north. So it's really important. And my grandmother had also said, like, she really felt like she was isolated. She felt like, what's the point in still living anymore, because don't nobody love her, her family doesn't think about her, and all of that because of the lack of connection.
Mhm.
And again, it goes back to how critical relationships, community, friendships, all of that, how important and imperative that is. And us that are believers, us that are Christians, we have to do so much better in loving one another and loving
Amen.
on one another. And sometimes, yes, we have to be vulnerable and put forth effort into these relationships.
All right.
So,
You definitely yelled that one.
girl, we do, because, and I'm not only just talking to you all out there in the world and social media world, but I'm talking to myself as well. Like, I do have to do better. Like, I use my phone for everything else. Like, I could use my phone to be like, hey, just thinking about you. Like, and so I got to do better. One thing that I also thought about is like, and I tried doing that, but that's hard every day. Like when the birthdays pop up on Facebook, like today, these are all your birthday friends. I mean, your friends that have birthdays. Like I try to go through all of those and say happy birthday.
Well, you got a lot of friends though. I
I
don't
know.
have that many, so I can do it. But you got a lot. I
I
don't think I'd be able to do that. And that's why I like having my little 200 and some friends.
Yeah. I need a what do you call it, a PA, personal assistant, so that she be like happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Or I need AI. I prefer AI because it can make me sound extraordinary with my
She would be his
vocabulary.
voice.
But yes, so um this was amazing talking
Yeah.
about friendship.
And I cried.
I mean, girl, your face was soaking wet.
Okay,
So can you talk about why you cried?
I think it was just a bit of what I'm going through and just a conversation. I mean, having friends is an emotional topic. I mean, if you've been through a lot,
So is that a good
yeah.
thing? Was that a good cry, or like a cry like you need more friends, or was it like, dang, I messed up in these streets?
I don't think I messed up in this.
Okay, okay. I'm just making sure. Look,
I
I'm
don't know.
trying to be a good friend. I'm trying to understand.
I'll be okay. But
Okay.
no, it
Yeah,
was
because
just
you
a lot.
got me on the squad.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight. We
Yes.
appreciate you so very much.
And don't forget, on the screens, you got Facebook. Y'all blow up our YouTube, please. Please and thank you. We are on Spotify, y'all.
Yeah.
Yes, Spotify. And also StreamYard. So y'all could, hit us up on there. Any questions, comments, or griefs, definitely don't, feel free to reach out to us. Again, we love y'all. We thank you. We also again thank the bishop and the first lady.
Yes.
No, the only laity, the bishop and the only laity, for allowing us to use their sanctuary again to host our podcast.
Yes.
And
having it set up for us, even though he's told me weeks and weeks to come and set up my own spot, but he did a very nice thing. support me. I appreciate that so
Yes, thank
much.
you, thank you, thank you so much again. He's been very supportive. So we thank him and the only lady for their support. Um, and also I thank you for being a friend.
Oh, thank you, Chris. Look, she want to make me cry again.
No,
Cut.
for real.
Cut the camera.
No, for real. I
Cut.
definitely I thank her for being a good friend. And y'all, we gonna figure this thing
Same.
out. We're gonna figure this thing out. So we thank you all and thank you for tuning in.
Till next time.